Technology's changing on us.
Yeah.
So I feel as the guy who appreciates beef, I'm going to kick this off and be selfish, Alan. No offense.
No, it's all right.
But Kamalie Matthews, this is Kyle Nash with the 3-point conversion. It's good to meet you. And listen, I'll ask the question that I do of any center when I get a chance, let alone one who's in the middle of starting up a franchise with a team, right? You got the beef, the group's getting together, you've had some joint practices. How would you say the chemistry's going? Because for all the talent and all the size that you guys may have, you guys got to work as one. How is that process coming along so far, bud?
I definitely say the process is coming along. Of course, dealing with football, anytime you go from one organization to another, there's always that, play style change, things that you got to get accustomed to. But I say as a unit, we're starting to get very close to that, playing together as one and having that brotherhood and that system to where we won't have to make calls out loud on the field. We can just look at each other and have that eye contact. So I say around, we'll definitely be ready for the first game against Houston. We'll definitely be ready against Houston. It'll all be together by then. But the more we work at it, the more we practice, the more reps we have at it, obviously, the better we get.
Yeah, Kamalie, thank you for joining us. This is Alan Alford from the Alan and Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Congratulations on your position there, being a center.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I did want to ask you, I spoke to Coach Buckley yesterday, and he said there's a lot of talent, especially in the running back position. How does that make your job easier or harder?
Definitely, as an old lineman, it makes our job easy.
Okay.
When you got a guy who can hit the hole and then make one guy miss, and instead of just, getting that easy 7 yards from not making that guy miss and getting tackled right there, you can make a guy miss and get, 15.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good as old linemen because we're like, okay, we did our job. And then he did a little extra, and it makes us look good. So anytime we can have a game where we get, 100 yards, 150 yards plus 200 yards a game or something like that, it's got to come back to the O-line.
Yeah.
So it makes our job a little easier. And sometimes you do have those guys who do a little too much, juking back and forth and not really just getting vertical. That kind of makes it hard. But I say right now, it's making our job easy right now.
Yeah, so making those holes and things like that nature is a lot easier.
Yeah, man. And some of our guys, they just need a little tiny bit of space, and they're right through there. So it's definitely making our job easy.
You mentioned that, Kamalie, but last week I talked to Coach Four. He said, it's tougher nowadays to run the football like one would like to for a professional team because it's harder to find the cracks because the defensive line is of a unique talent. Now, obviously, I know you're on the offensive side, but my experience is you get the best evaluation from the guy who's practicing against him. What have you seen in the D-line that's special about this group?
Definitely. I want to start up front in especially our nose and D tackle positions. Right now, we got some run stopper guys. I definitely see where, especially with our joint practice against DC, I see where those group of guys that we have on our D line helped us make those big creases and everything against DC in the joint practice. So it's a nonstop, never-ending battle. Coach will say, just helmets, and we're still out there practicing like we got full pads on. So
yeah,
just when you have a D line that's coming at us like that, and we have an O line that's coming at the defense the same way, you have no choice but to get better.
Let me do a quick follow-up too, because you mentioned the joint practice. I feel like I have to ask you, because as the center, you're the one in the trenches that knows all of the playbook compared to the rest of the guys.
Yes, sir.
So what would you, from your perspective, what are some of the lessons learned? Like, what did you learn you do well? What is it you guys might need to work on before the next practice? I'm pretty sure you had today off, if I read the schedule right. But yeah, what are some of the lessons you have learned, good and bad, from the joint practice so far?
Definitely some. We always gonna kick it. You do like beef, by the way, but we're gonna kick it off by just saying, the good things about it is just that, we're starting to figure out combination, especially O-line, especially combination blocks, D-line, figuring out, those stunts and twists and getting everybody on the same page. I feel like going against another team helped us push in that direction even better because we were able to let loose. We're not just studying our own guys. Like, we study our defense every single day. So we start to pick up on certain things, certain patterns and things like that. But playing a whole nother team where you get to let loose and just go all out, I believe that is helping us in the process. But the bad parts is, I really hadn't seen too many bad parts, but the one thing that I can say we can get better on is communication. Communication to where we don't have to say things out loud anymore. Like, I don't have to make a call out loud anymore. Now I can just look to my guy and he goes, and then we can go.
I mean, no, it's special when you get to hit somebody in a different jersey for the first time. I'm with that, but go ahead, Al.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kamalie. And he, Coach Buckley was talking about how dynamic the offense is going to be this coming up season. Can you elaborate more about, your offensive play calling and how explosive it's going to be?
You definitely trying to get the right answers out of me right now. Okay. I see what you're doing here. So definitely, man. I feel like our offense is going to be very dynamic, very explosive, especially once everybody gets on the same page. We like I said again, once we build that brotherhood, once we get everybody thinking the same and doing the same and reacting the same, and everyone with the same mindset, I mean, the sky's the limit. We have some big names. We have some guys that are very explosive. We have some guys, if you just put the football in their hands, I mean, they may do something special. And once we get everybody working on the same page, I feel like it's just going to turn it up even more.
Yeah. I only got one or two more myself. Let me ask this one first. The word that's been thrown around a lot in the past week, especially, I Coach Ford might remember me asking him about this actually. Opportunity is a word that's been huge, talking about not just this team or the coaches, but the league outright, and certainly for you players. Kamalie, what kind of opportunity has this provided for you in getting going with the Guardians?
I mean, let's be honest. I went from the FCF to the XFL. So, I mean, that in itself is an achievement. And I don't take it for granted. I definitely, every football player especially has those moments where you're watching TV, you see a guy on TV and you're like, wow, I could do that. Or I belong there. And so just giving us this opportunity to even prove that on a bigger stage in the XFL is definitely by far probably the best opportunity some of us guys have ever gotten.
Yeah, Kamalie. One question I do have is for people from the outside who don't, really think that the XFL is going to have the quality of talent. You sound like you can elaborate a little bit more on what the talent you have seen so far.
I really don't like when people say that. Because when you think about it, man, everywhere you go, you've seen guys who belong in the NBA, or you've seen guys who belong in the NFL that just didn't get their shot, or they messed up their opportunity. Well, I feel like with leagues like this is definitely going to give us a chance to show, like, hey, some of these guys actually do belong on that next stage and do need to be on that next stage. It's just that some of us didn't get the same opportunity that everyone else has gotten. I have a big thing that I say all the time, that my wife even said to me, is where I got it from, is you were dealt these cards. Now you have to play the hand. And, some of us just weren't dealt the best opportunities, or some of us just weren't dealt with or blessed with first round draft pick or Alabama for, a college choice. Some of us are coming from smaller schools and we have to work our way up and play those cards in the right order. And shoot, we might come out with a win. You never know.
Last one for me for Kamalie, Laney, but I'll put it this way: smart, fast, fearless are words I've heard from Coach Buckley, Coach Ford, Coach Carter, all alike. How does that apply to you in the offensive line? How are you taking that to heart?
Oh man. So smart, fast, and fearless, man. If you get up to the line, when you hear the play, and even Coach Ford has got me in this mindset. When I hear a play being called, I'm already thinking, What if the defense does this, this, that, and the third? So when I get up to the line, I already know what call I'm going to make just based on the scenarios I have in my head. Now, I don't have to waste so much time on a call. As soon as that ball snaps, I can go as fast as I want and be fearless as I want because I'm confident in my ability to know my play calling, and the calls. And I mean, we just get to line up and go. It doesn't matter what's on the play clock. It doesn't matter how fast. I mean, the clock is ticking. We can just line down and go.
Yeah, Kamalie. So what centers yourself that you look up to and say, you know what, this guy could ball?
I knew that was coming. I knew that.
Gotta ask that one.
I knew. Come on, you gotta go. My number one center, and I really say this, wholeheartedly because I've been watching him for a very long time. Jason Kelce.
Okay.
I mean, absolute monster. I mean, just absolutely, just obliterating some defenses, nose guards, D tackles. I mean, and he's only 295.
Right.
6'2", and I compare myself to that a lot because, I'm 6'3", and I'm 305, but, I don't look the biggest. I'm not the biggest of stature, but I'm very athletic. I'm very quick. I'm very smart. I play fast and fearless. And I mean, that's what Jason Kelce does. That's a prime example of a perfect center.
Jason Kelce, that's a great choice. You're right. And definitely, I see you on your way. I see you on your way.
Definitely. Yes, sir. Definitely. That's the mission. That is the goal.
Awesome. Any other questions for Kamalie? Y'all good?
No, that was great. Thank you, Kamalie.
That was great, Kamalie. Best wishes to you. Best wishes to you. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you. And the same to you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless. Thank you now.
God bless.
God bless.